Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. On today's video, we are up at our camp and we're going to try to do some interior work and install some homemade shiplap that we made on the mill in the workshop at home. So come along and let's see what we can tear up. So last year I milled about 1,000 board feet of poplar, put it out in the yard air drying, and then the recent weeks brought it inside the workshop and turned it into shiplap. If you want to see the details of how we did that, that's over on our Woodcraft Revival channel where we talk, kind of go deeper details into wood things, all things wood. So if you want to watch that, you can go over to Woodcraft. I'll put a link to it right here. There'll be a link down in the video description as well. But so we've got this ready. This isn't going to do the entire first floor. It takes a lot to make this with the tools that I have. But we're going to start in the kitchen area because that's the first area we want to finish. So we're going to insulate the walls. We got rock wool, and we'll talk about that in a second. We got rock wool we're going to install, and then we're going to put in some beadboard below cabinet height just to kind of close up the wall. And then where it's going to be visible, backsplashing up, then this is where we'll have our shiplap that we created. So I got Mom and Dad here and Kelly. They're all sitting on the porch, actually enjoying a beautiful morning up here and low humidity and cool temperatures. So it's going to be tough to motivate them to get to work. We'll see what we can do. Okay, so the plan is to do this section. This is our kitchen section. And of course, we've got a lot of things in the way we got to move first. But we've got all of our wiring done on this side. We finished that a while back. And we want to get our insulation in. And then we're going to put up some tar paper or roof felt, just because there may be some places where there's knot holes showing. And I want, if light would happen to go through a knot hole, I want black to be there. So that black tar paper. And rock wool doesn't have any vapor barrier on it. It doesn't need it. But I think this will just help have an extra protection there. So we got to tear down the kitchen, move everything where you guys are standing first. And then Mom is the queen of insulation. She's really good at that. So I think we're going to turn her loose. And the beauty of rock wool, it doesn't itch or irritate like fiberglass does. So we got to take down shelves and all that. So we got to do a lot of things here that have to be moved before we can start. So when I start putting in the rock wool, I want to talk about all the benefits of rock wool and why we decided to go with that and spend the extra money on that product versus just regular fiberglass insulation. All right, so we went with rock wool because multiple things. So first of all, it's way more flame retardant, 2,500 degrees, I believe, before it starts to break down. It's basically made out of volcanic rock, it's my understanding. So it is a mineral product, not fiberglass or anything like that. But the main reason we chose is because rodents hate it. They won't chew into it. There's something about the way it's made up. I guess it's hard on the teeth. I don't know. But they absolutely cannot stand it. So this was ideal. In fact, I wish I would have done it on the second floor. The downside, of course, is it's like 30% more expensive when it comes to comparing it to regular fiberglass insulation. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it makes sense. And I think it's going to work better for us. The other thing I love about it is it doesn't irritate like fiberglass insulation does. So Mom's able to get into it without gloves or anything. Although she's tough, she doesn't need gloves anyway. So. That's right, never use gloves. Yeah.
It's where it's too.
Yeah, we may have to cut it if. We may need a respirator though. So the neat thing about the instructions on this is just cut it with a bread knife, and it's crazy how easy it is to cut. You can see Mom's good at wielding a knife, but it cuts really, really simple, easy. Watch it, lady. Cuts real easy. There is a little bit of particulate that flies around, so that's why we put our masks on, just to slow down that particulate from going in our snout, of course. So we've got this part insulated. We had a little bit of a slowdown because when we came up here in a torrential downpour, it rained nonstop. And even though this stuff was wrapped up in plastic, it still took water on. So we've got a lot of insulation out in the sun drying. But it got dry in here. This little spot you may see over by the corner where it's silver, that's the equivalent R value. And it's that reflective hard cell insulation that we put behind the fireplace, so to keep that thermal mass thing going. So we don't have to tuck any insulation there. We're going to leave that as is, cover that up. So next, of course, is to put up our tar paper. Again, the tar paper really isn't necessary for any type of vapor barrier. It's more of a visual for me, and I guess it could serve as a vapor barrier a little bit. We've got house wrap on the outside. So the idea, tar paper here, we'll cut out our windows, our outlets, all that type of stuff. And then if we have shiplap up there where there's a chunk little missing or a knot that's fallen out, then you don't see the insulation sticking through. You'd see the tar paper. So we're going to line that out and get that put in place. There's an outlet there somewhere for countertop height. So I had some old 1/4-inch beadboard material that I had down in the workshop for a bit, gotten a little boogered up. Not the greatest looking stuff, but I put it up simply to hide. It's okay. That's all right. But I put it up to basically be a filler. The cabinetry that we're going to build is going to go here. This is the footprint of the kitchen cabinetry with the sink and the stove and everything. So this will be behind things. It won't be visible. The only reason why I did that is just to seal up my tar paper, insulation, get all that closed off, and it won't be visible. And I didn't want to put shiplap there. I hated to put shiplap behind something that was just going to get buried. So I thought, well, let's do this, and that'll save shiplap. Of course, the challenge that makes, of course, is being able to frame out or to cut out shiplap properly in these notches. So what I saved in material, I'm costing in time and calculation, so I may end up wasting more. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that's what we got. Got our outlets cut out and ready to start putting together shiplap. Now, the shiplap, we got wet coming up, just like the insulation. It got wet. So a lot of road grime on it. So we're going to wipe it down. May have to hit it with some 400 grit just to knock some of the funk off of it. All right, so after consultation and deliberation, what we're going to do is we're going to start here on both sides. Full piece from the door to the wall, from the fireplace surround to the wall. Get that in place and use that as a reference point. That's the beauty about not being tongue and groove, just being overlap, rabbet to rabbet. Then we can work our way backwards and not be having to do all this extra work. So establish this line, work our way backwards to fill in these two spots, and then we can turn around and work our way up. And that will help us establish the line that we want. So Kelly and Mom are out sanding. I'll show you what they're doing. And then I'm going to start cutting to length. I'm going to take a measurement before I do that. Let's get a reading. Oh, Father, who art in heaven. So you can see where it traveled, it got a little bit of staining on it, some of the dirt. A lot of that's coming off, but in some places there's actually some water stain. So what we're going to have to do is once we get it installed, we'll just touch it up with the paint we brought. And then I've got a cutting station set up here. Bridge. Nice. Tested it once, it should still be. But yep, good. All right, I'm going to start here, and then we'll work the bow out of it a little bit.
Well, wait a minute, you won't be able to do that with this tight corner.
All right, yep, I'll work that way. Good idea, good idea. Hope somebody's thinking around here. Yes. Yep. A little aggressive, but I think it'll still work. Dad, I need 33 and a half. Right. So it's taking a bit of time as we work around all of our outlets. So we've got 4 outlets right here, including our 12 volt. This is our USB and our cigarette lighter. So that'll screw down in there once we're done. We'll have to get offsets for the outlets to offset those out. And we're going to work on the other side of here by the fireplace next. And then we'll go up, and hopefully once we get this run, outlets, one more outlet, then we can go a lot quicker. It's taking forever. One more board to go. So what we're doing is stagger step here because we're going to continue shiplap over in the living room area. So when we come up, of course, we don't want a hard line right here over the door. So we're staggering that so we can kind of feather that in. I don't have enough shiplap to do the rest of that. Probably enough to do a little less than half. So I have to go back to the workshop and make more shiplap. Dad's cutting our last piece now.
the table or turn the board around?
Mind your toes.
Okay, you got it.
All right, so I think that takes care of the whole kitchen side. And as I mentioned, not enough to do the rest of this wall. We'll do some. We'll see what we do tomorrow. You may be wondering what's going on here. This is where I got to put a little service panel because right now my converter to go back to 12 volt so I can run my water pump is right behind this. So just kind of have that loose right now. We'll figure out what we're going to do. Eventually, when we get everything plumbed the way we want to, this will no longer need to be here. We won't have 12 volts. So we'll probably just take all that out, replace this board. Another nice thing about not doing tongue and groove with the shiplap, being able to drop in like that. All right, well, we'll pick back up tomorrow as we do some more insulation and put up the rest of the shiplap we have, and that gives me an idea of what I need to make back at the wood shop.
What?
What do you say?
What measurement did you want?
91.
91.
I was so far you can take it.
All right, so we ran out of insulation. We had 4 bundles. So we've got 2 spots behind the door that are not enclosed, and then just a couple spots here on the breaker. So we need like a third of a bundle, which is a drag, but which I could actually use. Do need to do the floor joist gaps up there, so that would actually utilize a full bundle as well. But got this wall insulated here. Let me zoom out. Get this wall insulated here and the tar paper up. And I've got about 4 feet worth of shiplap. So trying to figure out, do I start at the bottom and take a risk? Do I work this line out and work my way down? So you'll see what I decide when I turn the camera back on again, because I'm still thinking about it. I'll do this in. Mom, you'll be our eyes here. Yeah. The gap between the door doesn't matter. It's the gap above that's most important.
Okay.
I don't see that.
All right, so that's as far as we got before we ran out of shiplap. We went ahead and tar papered this wall so we wouldn't we push our bed up against it tonight. We're staying another night that we don't have. Here comes the bed now. We don't have insulation in our faces, obviously, but haven't tar papered this wall yet because we've obviously missing some insulation. We've got a couple spots that we need to fill in. But it looks like, I think I need 7 boards to finish out this wall, and including the top strip. And then Kelly and I were talking, I think we're just going to keep on going. We'll just shiplap all the way around. I don't think I have enough dried poplar to do all of this. So we'll need to mill some poplar, and be a project that'll have to wait about 6 months, I guess. But and we're still debating on the ceiling. We've talked about different things to do for the ceiling. We don't have to insulate that, of course, but figuring out what would make sense there. I'm thinking more of a natural wood something, but we'll see. All right, so this is how far we got things put back together. Really happy with how all that turned out. And I've got enough wood ready for the trim, so we'll trim that out, and I think we're going to paint that a light gray. In fact, it's the same color paint that I painted the chicken church with. So we'll trim out the windows, these 2 windows here, trim out the door. Well, I won't be able to trim out the door until I get that bottom done, but we'll see. And that should do it. So as we do any more work on the cabin, again, we'll continue to just do videos and put it in our playlist of our off-grid cabin build, and keep you guys posted. I think I'm actually going to do some gutter work tomorrow, but I don't think this is going to be in the video. It's not that exciting, but I may do a short about it. Well, I appreciate everybody watching. I pray you all have a great week. Take care.